Hello everyone. I made a mistake on this block. I thought I had it all right, but then I realized that I didn't. I had accidentally switched these two blocks around, and now I need to fix that. So I just figured I would show you how I do it quickly and easily, because when I started, I always thought I had had to unrip both of these seams and then take that section out. But instead, I will just open up these seams partially, and then I can just remove that section and then just spin it around. And then this goes a lot faster, and then this way you don't have to unpick as many seams. So I will show you how I unpick my seams. I just kind of start and rip open one stitch where I want to start. I'm going to do this on both sides so that both the top and bottom thread are cut. And then I go about every 3 to 5 stitches apart. I don't count, I just randomly go. And then I just go and I cut the thread. I'm only going to cut the thread on one side. You don't need to do it on both. It just saves a little bit of time. And I'm just going to go all the way to the end up until where I wanted to go. And this is why I started where I wanted my stitch ripping to stop and not at the end, because otherwise I might just get in the zone and forget and rip out more stitches than necessary. So I just go as far as I want to and then start from the center and work my way out. Now I'm just going to pull my fabric gently apart. If it tugs a little bit, then I'll just use my seam ripper and then just cut those stitches there. But usually they come apart pretty easily. Everybody has their own methods of doing this. This is just my preferred way, and I find it simple and easy to do. But now that I have that done, I am also going to find my next seam line that I need to stitch, unstitch, not stitch, and then just do the exact same thing, starting from the center, working my way out, and then just cutting those threads so that I can just pull my fabric apart. One of the things that I love about this seam ripper, it comes with a little cap, and on there's this little rubber edge. You can just use it to lightly rub on your fabric, and it gets all those little thread pieces off, and it's so much easier than sitting there and using your fingers to unpick all of them. Now I just need to pop open these stitches here, and then I can take this whole section out and flip it around. All right, now that I have that taken out, this is what my piece is going to look like. You can unpick those stitches further if you feel like you don't have enough room to work with. But that's the way it was in there before, and we need to make sure that we don't put it back in the same way. So we're going to lay it the way it needs to go. Double check with my pattern and make sure that it's right, because I don't want to sew this back together just to undo it all again. So I'm just going to lay that right sides together, and then I'm just going to make sure that these edges are all lined up nice and neat. And yes, sometimes you miss a few threads and then you just got to pick them off with your fingers. But I'm just going to line this up and head over to the sewing machine. I did end up putting a pin in there just to kind of hold it into place. Before I start sewing, I am going to make sure that all of my other tail pieces are out of my way. I don't want to accidentally get them bunched up underneath and then sewing them down, and then that's just more unpicking. And nobody likes to undo the work that they've already done. This is a huge project for me. I think one of the biggest ones that I've taken on yet, but I'm hoping that it all works out. So now that I have sewn that on and I just kind of finger press the seam where it needs to go, I'm just going to pick one section. It doesn't matter whether it's the top or the bottom. Just going to line it up and make sure that all of my seams are nesting properly. And if I need to, flip the way the seams are being pressed just to make sure that it's being nested. And then I'm just going to put pins in there to hold it into place. And you don't need to start sewing from the end here. That's not necessary. So I'm just going to go about 1 inch away from where my stitches end. Just overlap them about an inch, and then that should lock everything into place. And I'm just going to sew that with a 1/4 inch seam. And once I've done this section, I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other part, and then it's going to be all sewn back together, and then I can move on to the next block. I was hoping to be further along with this quilt than I am, but with life lately, it's just been a little bit hard getting back into a routine. We are working on it, and I am hoping to be back to normal soon so that I can have my regular uploads and share more of my projects with you, because I do have more that are on hold right now and more that I have planned. But as you can see, it's all fixed now and it matches the pattern, so I can now move along with this and move on to the next blocks. It's going to take me a while to get this one done. But I hope this was helpful for you and you learned something new. I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time.